So what is school? Well, if you look at the word school and you break it into two parts, and then you expand each of those parts into two full words, you realize that a school is simply a scheming pool. So let's look at the implications of this. First, scheming. Now, in the fallen world, we're always scheming to get. However, that is not what a school truly does. A school schemes in order to give. How can we receive from the Creator and give what we've received out into creation? And you have to use your mind, heart, and body in order to translate the spiritual gift from the Creator and then mentally, emotionally, and physically express it out into the world. And that takes a lot of scheming. In order to successfully do that, you're going to need a pool of people to draw from. So you're scheming as a pool of individuals, all with your unique talents and abilities, all with free will, in order to bring something unique into the world. Now, your creations, your thoughts, emotions, and actions are what you work on together, but where you're receiving this from is the spiritual union with the Creator. So you're with the Creator, but that requires you to be a equal partner with the Creator. That doesn't mean you're God. You're just an equal partner in this creative act. And your creations are spiritual. And then together you have to work on the thoughts, emotions, and actions to bring your creations out into the world. That takes a lot of scheming. It takes an equal partnership pool of individuals, and then you have to work together with the Creator. So a scheming pool brings forth unique spiritual creations, and the intent is to bless creation. So how does school work? The first step always in creating a scheming pool is isolation. You must isolate yourself from the world. If you do not isolate yourself, then all the pre-existing creations that are out there will rule over you, and you'll just simply bring forth replications. But a scheming pool is about bringing fresh spiritual creations and then creating the thoughts, emotions, and actions necessary to bring them into the world. Once you isolate, though, you can establish the outer perimeter of your school. You know who's involved and you know who's not. That's not good or evil, it's just necessary. Now, once there's isolation, then you can begin to integrate together. Your souls start taking on a oneness, each having its own free will, each having its own relationship with the Creator, but you're in a singular mission together. And then your minds, hearts, and bodies start binding together. You never create thoughts that are the same. You never create emotions that are the same. You never create actions that are the same. They're always unique, but they're binding together, and they're all based on the same source, the same Creator. So your union together is spiritual, and everything that comes out of you, thoughts, emotions, and actions, is infinitely diverse. But there's a connectivity to it because you're bound together in the same spiritual source. And the last thing that happens once you've isolated, you've integrated together, you've grown your strength, you have something to deliver, you then go forth and you infiltrate creation in order to bless. You're not looking for anything in return. You've already received everything you desire from the Creator. Now you must give. You're dying to give. And that gives you a propulsion to infiltrate creation. So a scheming pool first becomes, as you integrate together, and then you create. And your creations go out to the world quite naturally. So why bother going to school? Well, there's two options here. First, if you want to be like culture, then go to an educational institution. However, if you want to create culture, then you're looking for a scheming pool. So as you isolate yourself from the rest of culture, you have to then define who you are as a culture. So everybody that's involved in your scheming pool has to get together and figure out who are we, why are we here, how are we going to bless the world, what are we going to create. That's all creation of culture. And you're creating a unique culture with the intent that as you become integrated, as you become healthy and self-sustaining, you're going to go out and you're going to lead the rest of common culture. And as long as you maintain your integrity together, your interdependence becomes stronger and stronger, you will go out and you will lead the rest of culture. So a scheming pool becomes a unique culture that leads common culture. So who joins a scheming pool? Well, you have to be a disenchanted soul to even consider the possibility. So a disenchanted soul is someone who knows they're neither great nor worthless, which sounds like a very novel position, but then you have no motivation. You don't have the motivation to prove that you are great, and you also don't have the motivation to try to become great because you're worthless. You're neither great nor worthless. You then need to go further and become a disassociated soul. There's two main lines of thought in the world. There's religion that says, follow this path and you will achieve spiritual fulfillment. There's also the world, which says, follow materialism and you will find fulfillment there. Both of those avenues have to be rejected. You have to disassociate yourself from all the current avenues of how to find fulfillment. Why? Because you're looking for something more. You don't know what it is, but you're willing to disassociate yourself from all the possibilities that are offered to find fulfillment. And you need to go further still. You don't just want to be disenchanted and disassociated. You want to be a disobedient soul. Now, we think we're disobedient, but in actuality we're not. So a good example is children. When a parent tells the child, don't do that, what does the child do? Well, the child does what they're not supposed to do. But that's not actually disobedience. They're still obeying the framework of good and evil set by the parent. The parent said, be good, don't touch it, and if you do touch it, you'll be evil. But the child simply obeys the evil frame. That's not disobedience. So a truly disobedient soul is someone who rejects all frameworks of what is good and what is evil, which includes your own frameworks. And that's the real difficulty that we face. You must be disobedient to your own knowledge of good and evil. So you're neither good or evil. And you are essentially a neither. And a scheming pool can only have individuals who are neithers. They're continually rejecting everything that's in the world, even their own knowledge of good and evil, and they're looking to a greater source. So a scheming pool disobeys the human knowledge of good and evil.